Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.
Perfect.
Welcome.
You did it. You got it right. It's perfect.
So now, are you a Steelers fan, or...
Yeah, a little.
Okay.
No, I'm a diehard Steelers fan.
Course.
Yes, diehard. I love the Steelers so much.
From Pittsburgh?
Yep, and I actually am also a Penn State fan, which is controversial because Penn State and Pitt don't like each other. So I like the city of Pittsburgh for everything except college sports. Then I'm Penn State.
So... Is it because you went to Penn State?
For undergrad.
But
I went to dental school at Pitt. So again, it's messy.
Oh my God.
It's murky, yeah.
Wow, you're getting tugged in all directions,
I know.
Britt Baker.
My whole life.
Penn State is so fun. My first ever full-time radio job was in State College, Pennsylvania.
No way.
They fired me after a month.
That's okay.
It got dark.
You don't want to stay in State College that much longer anyway. It's a lot of farmland. There's Penn State, and then there's not that much else to do. But it is the Happy Valley.
Well, it was fun because I had just graduated from my undergrad, and I'm like still living the college lifestyle, only not having to go to college in Penn State, in State College. So it was just a wild scene.
That's the dream.
Yeah.
It's messy.
Well, thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
We're so excited. With a lot going on. Of course, you're in Chicago in 2 weeks.
Yes.
For Dynamite.
Yes.
That's happening.
Yep.
And you got Full Gear coming up too.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start with Full Gear. What can fans expect? Big, huge pay-per-view going down.
So anytime anything's in LA, it's big. It's the stars come out. You never know who's going to be in the crowd at LA. You never know who's going to be backstage. Everyone's just. It's always like it's a big event feel, even when it's not a pay-per-view. So then you add the pay-per-view element to the mix, and everyone's going to show out. It's a pay-per-view. You never know what you're going to get from Tony Khan. He likes to cook when it comes to the pay-per-view. Like everybody knows that. And on the women's side, we have a big title match. We have Toni Storm versus Hikaru Shida, which obviously that's got my attention. That's where I'm at.
Main event status.
Who's coming out with that belt? Ooh. Because that's who I want. I call Div next.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is this official? Are we officially offering out this challenge? You already have.
Oh yeah.
They know.
Yeah. I mean, I am the people's champ. So, belt or no belt, it's me. I'm the people's champ. It would be nice to have the physical proof, though, of being a champion with having the title belt.
Right. And you carry it around everywhere you go.
Exactly.
Hey, everybody, look at me.
Everywhere.
So, you just talked about LA. It's funny, I want to ask you, who are you most surprised to find out is a huge wrestling fan? Because you've been touring all over the world, right? Has there ever been a celebrity you're like, oh, damn, you're even a big fan?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. So actually, last time when we were in LA, Vince Vaughn was in the crowd.
No way!
Which was really cool. Yeah, I thought that was awesome. Probably the biggest diehard wrestling fan I know is Paul Walter Hauser, who was in Cobra Kai and what was I'm trying to think of his show where it was the prison show. It's on Apple TV, Blackbird, I think. But oh my gosh, diehard. He knows more about wrestling than I do. Paul Walter Hauser, I love him.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You never know. It's like a secret fraternity that when you find somebody and you start talking about it, you're like, we could have been talking about wrestling this whole entire time. I
know.
What was your journey like? What got you into it? Were you a fan first? Did you just fall into it?
Yeah, I was a fan. Just a regular fan. I never was like, oh, I want to be a wrestler. That's my dream. I just kind of fell into it when I learned more about the process of how people become professional wrestlers in today's day and age. I thought it was something where they just like plucked you off and said that person's going to be a wrestler. You go. No, there's a very intense conditioning selective process where you start training. You're in like this underground independent wrestling scene. You're wrestling in front of 20, 30 people. And, I got the wheels turning, started looking up this independent wrestling scene, and some of my favorite wrestlers that were wrestling at WWE at the time all started off wrestling in front of like 20 people. And that puts it in perspective. Like, anybody can do this if you really try. And, of course, you have to be good at it. I shouldn't say anyone can do it. But, so then I was like, hey, let's give this a try. And the only thing was I was also accepted into dental school. So
at the same time?
Yeah, so I started wrestling training within months of my first day of dental school.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and I just decided, hey, I'm not giving either of these up. I'm going to be a wrestler and a dentist. And all the time, probably on a daily basis, people would tell me, you're going to have to give one of these up. You can't do both. And
don't tell me what to do.
Don't tell her no. Don't tell her no.
Yeah.
Right.
That's so cool. So you live two lives.
Literally.
Do you still practice dentistry?
Yeah. So I'm not full-time anymore because it was too crazy, and there's some crazy wacko fan stories. We won't even go there. But not full-time, but I still see my old trusty, loyal patients. See them all the time. I love them. I cherish them. They cherish me. We love each other. And I love going to the dental office. I always say it keeps me humble because there I'm I'm Dr. Baker. I get yelled at by my office manager. My dental assistant's yelling at me which room to go, and my hygienist is telling me I'm being too slow. It's good. It's good for my soul.
Is your dental office boss tougher than Tony Khan? Which one is tougher on you, would you say?
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
I would say, I don't know. I think that's a tie. I don't know how, because in their own ways, definitely.
So when you were, following these former WWE stars, like you said, who were some of the inspo that you got? Like, as a kid, were you a fan as a kid, or was it more later in life?
Watched loosely as a kid, just because it was always the family that babysat me. Their sons always watched wrestling. So for me, it was like, oh, well, I don't want to. They're watching it. I'd have to, but I don't want to. And then when I was more so in high school, college, that's when I was like diehard, buying the pay-per-view, selling my textbooks to go to the pay-per-views when they came to town. I was very not a great student compared to a wrestling fan.
Yeah.
But I loved Bryan Danielson, which ironically is now my coworker, and it's still surreal to me when I see him walking backstage, because I remember seeing him. I bought tickets to the 2014 Royal Rumble in Pittsburgh, and the crowd booed Rey Mysterio when Daniel Bryan was not number 30 in the Royal Rumble, and I was one of the crowd members booing Rey Mysterio. I'm ashamed. I can't believe I booed Rey Mysterio, but I love Daniel Bryan, now Bryan Danielson, at the time so much that I didn't care.
Okay, that's a good one, because he's one of the best in the world, like you said.
In the world, and he has wrestled at like every grimy independent wrestling company you can think of, and he loves it, and he would do it tomorrow. If his body could hold up with it, that guy would not stop wrestling.
And the comeback story alone, it's remarkable. That's
insane.
Inspirational.
It's insane.
Like, he was out for like years and years, and they told him he probably could never wrestle again, right?
He retired in the ring.
Yeah.
Same thing with Edge, now known as Adam Copeland, who also is our coworker. Same thing with Paige, now Soraya. We brought a lot of these people. We brought them back.
Yeah.
And so you're welcome.
Yeah. You guys are you're taking Ric Flair was on my TV.
Yes.
I mean, there's nobody more iconic than Ric Flair, not just in the wrestling world, but in just like pop culture. Did you get a chance to spend any time with the Nature Boy?
I've seen Rick plenty of times, and he's definitely iconic. He's a legend, but I'm mad at him because he's Team Michigan this weekend for the big Penn State Michigan game. He was in the locker room. I have to cut ties with him for now until Penn State wins, and we can be friends again. Sunday morning. Yeah.
You guys can talk again. Very important question. I don't know if you read this internet thing. There's a lot of people that are speculating that maybe Dr. Britt Baker is the devil.
I've seen.
Yeah.
I've seen.
Are you the devil?
So
that feels weird as an interview question to ask somebody, but
I'm not. But then I'm like, maybe I would be a good devil. But it's not me. But if I could be, would I be? Maybe. Because then I'm like, who better to like stir some shit up than me? I don't know if we can swear, but
you go first.
Okay.
Who
do you want to be the devil?
Who do I want to be the devil?
Yeah.
I would probably want the devil to be a big surprise, right? Because that's what we love as wrestling fans.
You don't want to know.
Yeah.
But that's the problem with the internet is they're trying to fish and prod. They want to figure everything out, but then when they figure it out, they're pissed that they figured it out. It's like you can't have it all, guys.
I'm looking at you and not getting devil vibes. Or am I?
Wait, can you put that all over Twitter right now that you don't get the devil vibes from me? Because,
so your notifications are blowing up.
Yeah.
We're going to play real quick, and thank you for the time. I know you're a busy woman. We're going to emojify wrestlers on the roster.
Okay.
So first emoji that pops in your head, I'm going to name one, Jon Moxley. Emojify him.
The blood drop.
So bloody.
Yeah.
You too. For a little while there. I was like, oh, Britt Baker.
I made some money off that bloody face.
Yes.
All
right. Jamie Hayter.
Jamie hated the muscle, because that's her thing. She kisses her muscle,
Orange Cassidy.
The sunglasses.
I was gonna say sunglasses. The lazy is orange, but no, let's
say the sunglasses. Yeah.
Tony Storm.
Oh man, that's changed. I would say the head with the explosion thing, because she's lost her damn mind. That's the one.
So good.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is there like a director's cut emoji?
There is, but that's the same
it's
thing.
Too
it's
easy.
Like pop out. Yeah. Let's get funky with it.
Two more. Bryan Danielson.
You already know what I'm gonna say, but I'm not gonna say that. I'm gonna do. There's like a teacher instructor one, and that's because he is probably the best wrestling instructor teacher I know. But of course, the dragon would be the American Dragon would be the easy cop out.
Yeah, or goat. A goat would be good.
See, that's not him.
That's not his emoji?
It's Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho's GOAT. Okay, noted. MJF.
The circle with the no, just no.
Just stop.
Yeah, or less than, because that's what I want more of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
What's it like having to share your man with MJF, your significant other? Is it like difficult? Is it easy the third wheel, or do you not deal with MJF at all?
It's annoying in the sense that it's like I feel like you're given a test and you know the answers before you even get the test. Like I know what's coming.
Yeah.
And Adam Cole is a sweetheart. It's his fatal flaw that he's too trusting, and this doesn't end well.
Yeah.
But I'll sit back and say I told you so, but that's okay. I'll pet his back, rub his head.
You'll be the support system.
Like always, yeah. But I will say I told you so.
Yeah.
Every day.
Why won't he learn? I've learned a long time ago.
I know.
You're always right.
Right.
One last one for you. What's the most painful wrestling move that you've ever received? The next day you're like, oh, it hurts. Oh, God.
Oh, my God. That's like an instance or just a generalized move?
Either.
Okay, so when I broke my wrist, that was horrible because I just won the belt and I had to keep wrestling through it. So I didn't have any time off because I broke my wrist, and I think it was 2 weeks, we had our first Pittsburgh Rampage where I was defending the title in the first ever main event of Rampage, and you need to staple it, duct tape it, whatever. I'm wrestling in this freaking match, doc. That was horrible. That was so painful.
During the match, you're saying?
Yeah, and of course in the match we worked the wrist because it's everyone knows my wrist is broken, so we're messing around with it, and I'm like, this was the dumbest idea we've ever had. But other than that, when I did the hardcore match, the thumbtacks.
Oh my God.
Are something that you can't prepare for. You can't as soon as you see the bag of tacks come out, just empty your mind because you don't know, you can't even begin to feel what that's or guess what that's going to feel like. It's horrible, and they stick inside of you, and every time you move around, even after the match, they're just either digging in more or falling out, both of which hurt. They hurt just as bad going in as they do coming out. So there's nothing good that comes from tacks. I will never touch the tacks again.
What great advice.
Yeah. Stay away from the tacks.
Stay away from the tacks and MJF.
Yeah, and MJF. Leave the tacks and MJF at home.
I love it. Well, congratulations on all your success. We can't wait to have you back. Is there like an estimated time? What do we got here?
Not yet. We'll see. But hey, let him miss me, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, we can let him miss me a little bit.
Absolutely.
Right.
Dr. Britt Baker, DMD.